hop right into it. Overrated, underrated. I said that backwards. Underrated, overrated. All right, so this the point of this is obviously to say overrated or underrated. What we're gonna do is go around the room, name a topic randomly. It could be an event, an artist, a producer, a song, etc., etc. Is your choice. Starting with the guest, he or she will say, he or she will say it if it's overrated or underrated. State why with supporting facts or opinions. No answer, of course, right or wrong.
Boom, boom.
So, I'll let you bring up the first topic.
All right. Beat pad. Actually, MPC.
MPC?
Yeah.
Overrated.
Why is that? And you know you about to have some people angry at you.
Overrated. It's overrated. The reason why is because I understand that MPC is a staple thing. I feel like there's other things that you can, there's other hardware that you can use that does the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know but that's just what it is. Like MPC, everybody can't afford an MPC.
No, they can't.
So,
or Pro Tools.
Or Pro Tools. You know what I'm saying? Like those,
Yeah.
those are like the, of course, like I said, MPC is like the standard hip hop drum machine, all that good stuff. You got the Novation. Was it Novation Circuit? You got the Novation. It's a mini circuit. All these keyboards come with drum pads on them now, so you can use those. You got a machine, native instruments. What's the Akai Fire? Everything by Akai. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother brand. Got a whole different line of drum pads and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say overrated.
You gotta have a whole bunch of people.
It's all good. In my opinion, nothing is wrong.
You know, like, what? How dare he?
It's all good.
MPC.
Somebody clutching their MPC crying right now, like, no.
Hey, I mean, it's cool. Like, the MPC Renaissance is cool, man, but it's just like, that kind of has something else similar to it.
I'm chopping beats now.
Yeah, and it's like, I say overrated too because, when I first started making beats, everybody made it seem like this is the only thing that you need. This is it.
That's my point exactly.
You have to get this.
Oh yeah, you don't got that. You ain't.
Basically.
That's my point. Like,
and then I'm finding out about other equipment that's way cheaper and does the exact same thing. So why would I want that? I mean, I don't. I'd want it if I had money to blow just to say I have one.
Yeah.
But I don't need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because machines are wave right now. But however, the OGs like MPC. But like I said, Akai has been out just as long. They got and I'm not vouching for Akai, but it's like this. Everybody loves a Lambo, but Ferrari goes just as fast.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? A Porsche can go just as fast.
Yeah.
They all do the same thing.
Wait,
so.
doesn't Akai make the MPC?
Yeah,
they make an MDP, right?
No, they make the MPC.
Okay.
Okay.
So the MDP is what I'm talking about. So that's another.
MDP.
That's another line, which is the MDP is like the
it's all under Akai.
It's the MPad.
Yeah. Like you said.
And then they make the keyboards now that have that whole beat pad on it.
Yeah.
That's by Akai. Like it's the MPC keyboard. Like all right, all that.
And we still got a Novation. Like I ran into that just online, and I use a lot of Novation products.
Heck, I don't even use none of that stuff. Like the only thing I use, when I chop my samples, I just use keyboard to chop. I use keyboard chopping and to play stuff out. Yeah. That's just what I do. For me, it's work. And I think the thing is, it's the stigma. It's workflow. You got to figure out what workflow works for you. And if that workflow works for you, then that works for you.
Yeah.
Okay, if something works good for somebody else, that's cool. Don't criticize about that. Don't get mad about it.
Yeah, tell your folks on Facebook, leave me alone.
Yeah, leave this dude alone. You know the joke is mad.
Yeah, you ain't hip hop.
Talk about no NPC.
Yeah.
So you think they didn't talk about Pro Tools too?
Disrespecting the culture.
Hey man, hey. Hey, like I said, I do what works for me.
Facts. That's the only thing you can do.
That's
you know
it. You know what I'm saying?
That's why they make all these different products.
Yeah, man, you got to find what works for you.
Yeah. Nothing's gonna stick with you.
I mean, if I was a DJ,
Unless
you
it's
think
something you like.
if I was a DJ, well, I'm a DJ, but
All right.
Congratulations.
How would I look carrying a 200-pound Technique turntable today? When Newmark's got something that looks the same, smaller, and a little cheaper.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you can have some people mad though. Now you
It's
can't talk
all-
about the Technic 12s now. That's another thing. Now you know they get you with that Technic 12.
I'm just saying. Hey,
What? About these Technic 12s?
Yeah.
it's all good.
Blasphemy.
So
I know.
NBCU, I'm assuming underrated.
Yeah, very underrated.
Why did I think that?
No, I don't think it's. No, actually, I do think the MPC is overrated. I'm just joking. I do think it's overrated because I do believe in the fact that you're it's all about the tools that you use.
Mm-hmm.
It's about learning how to use what you're going to use to make what you're going to make.
Okay.
And stuff. So, like I said, I guess from a technical perspective, yeah, there's some things that you can learn how to do with it that you can master, but that's just like with any other device that you use to make music.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's just learning how to use what you have.
Yeah.
And like I said, if that's your style and that's your sound, hey, and that's what you want to use, so be it.
Yeah.
Hey, if you just want to use a darn table,
There you go.
whatever.
Yeah.
If it's like I said, if somebody's gonna buy that, and hey, that's it.
That's
like
true.
going back to photography, one of the first things I learned just from photography is the best picture you can shoot is the picture that the person's gonna buy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
No matter if you got a fight, like all these sites, and you guys, everybody knows about it. You guys, people having like $3,000, $4,000 camera, all this stuff. Like it don't matter if the person that you shot the picture for ain't gonna buy the picture.
Yeah.
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 If
That's true.
somebody take it with a
Because
camera
of
phone and sell it,
I was about to say, essentially, the first thing you should do is make your money back anyway.
yeah, that's
You know
what I'm
I mean?
saying. So
And
yeah,
that goes back to the value of you versus the consumer.
yeah, that's
You
what
know
I'm saying, man.
So,
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
all,
yeah.
man. Be smart about it, man. Like what you like, man. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I think MPC is overrated.
Overrated.
Very, very, very overrated.
Yeah.
what you got?
Oh yeah, I already said that's overrated.
I mean, what's your topic? What's your topic?
Oh, my
Yeah.
bad. My bad.
Yeah,
I'm about to say,
I
I'll go in
don't want
again.
no smoke.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't want no smoke with
They know it have to be.
Pro Tools. Overrated, underrated.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. I think. And you got to pick one or the other. I think with Pro Tools, I would say. Actually, I'd say Pro Tools is probably underrated. And the reason why I would say Pro Tools is underrated is because when it comes to music production, the whole purpose of music production is to make a song. It's not just for you to enjoy making a beat and to make the beat. Yeah, we get that as producers.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's to be able to take what we created, to put it with music, to put it with, and I think I was talking to somebody about this online a couple weeks ago. I was arguing with somebody about this. Take what you created as far as the music, put the voice to it, and put out a complete song. And I think with the abilities that Pro Tools provides with the plugins and everything, how you're able to move stuff around, but also how you can incorporate live instrumentation and the interface and how easy it is to do that. Just from my personal experience using it and seeing it, and using it firsthand, it's very underrated. It's very underrated.
Okay. Overrated. Overrated. The reason.
Tear it all down.
I think it's overrated because I've used Pro Tools and also I've used Studio One and I've used Cubase, and I think compared to those other two, I think Pro Tools is sometimes a little complicated to use. Another thing is it eat up a whole lot of hard drive space. You know what I'm saying? Or memories, drive space, whatever. Studio One is more stock friendly. I don't know if that's the right word.
Studio One.
Studio-
I've seen it. I've seen Studio One.
Yeah,
I've
yes.
seen it. I've seen it in the Guitar Center.
Yeah, Studio One is more. Yeah, you know, if I want to go on the fast track, I use Studio One. So I started as a producer, trying to want to figure out how to engineer. So Studio One is the best way to go for a beginner. You know what I mean? And actually, all the hotkeys are actually opposite of Pro Tools. And then Cubase, well, hold on.
Oh, I hate Cubase. I hate
Cubase.
I didn't like Cubase.
And that's the problem.
Cubase is the devil.
So I associate, and I'm not sure, I haven't used Pro Tools recently, but I associate those two together because you have to have that little dongle lock key thing.
Oh, yeah.
The hard drive. That's why I say it's overrated. You know what I'm saying? Studio One, you just, boom, download it, you're there. You're ready to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that's it. I think it's overrated.
I'm kind of on the fence.
You gotta pick one or the other, man.
Yeah, I know it's hard. I guess I would say overrated.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Coming after you.
Yeah, I gotta do it. I mean, it's so many things. Programs like it's just like the MPC debate. So many things that do the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna cost you everything. Like Pro Tools is expensive.
Yeah,
and it should be because it's a standard bearer for the industry.
Yeah.
But that's the only reason why it's expensive.
Yeah.
If it wasn't the standard bearer, it'd be the same price as all these other DAWs.
Because Pro Tools is like a minimum of what, 2 something, 3 something, 4 something, maybe more.
Depends on which version.
Out the box is like it's like a stack.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not pitching for Studio One, but it came free my interface, the guitar version, the smaller version.
You know what? Let me research, find out real quick
Yeah.
on the old Google.
I used to use Sonar a lot.
And Sonar.
Sonar was pretty
I think
good.
Sonar is made by Cakewalk, right?
Yeah.
That's a cakewalk.
Yeah.
Logic is good too.
I heard about Logic. Never used Logic.
Man, Logic is
very
a
good.
joint, man. I love Logic. Now, that's the
Yeah.
second thing I use.
And I heard that's user friendly too.
But I love all those programs because you can record in them, make beats in them, do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically it's $2.99.
That's the base.
Yeah, for like 1 year subscription.
And that's
You see what I'm saying?
Oh no, man! But that's the hustle game though nowadays. Anyway, though.
yeah, it's changed.
It's
Everything
like-
is subscription based.
Yeah, because they were like, man, we can't be giving out these programs. Man, they take them and they just stay with Fruity Loops 3 for 20 years.
Yeah.
I think it stopped people from like bootlegging it too.
Yeah, man. So yeah, it's like 12 payments. Yes, I know. Actually,
12 payments of
1 year
what?
Production software. American Musical has Pro Tools for $5.99. Yeah, Pro Tools. Man, I can't afford that.
Case in point, overrated.
Yeah, baby.
Overrated.
Yeah.
Now, if you can afford
You
it,
know what? Now, on the other hand,
now if you can afford it, that's cool. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
oh, it's so expensive.
It all depends on what you're using. If you got a home studio,
and that's the other
You
thing
know,
too. Like,
you're
like I
probably
said,
gonna need something cheaper.
yeah, and I said
You
it takes a lot of memory out of your computer and all that good
Yeah.
stuff too. So you got to have everything right for Pro Tools.
Exactly.
So
And I'm saying this with Pro Tools on my laptop. But yeah, let's keep going.
Oh man.
all right.
But I also got Sonar on there too.
Trying to okay, so here's my topic, y'all. Doing live shows, overrated, underrated.
Underrated.
Okay.
Tell you why.
Boom.
Because at the end of the day, music is about people. It's about people interacting and communicating with each other. And that's especially nowadays with as much issue as how much music is, I guess, with how music has changed and how the music business has changed, so much value is put on live shows and that experience. Being able for artists to go out there to connect with fans and for fans to connect with artists and vice versa. And I think because of that, like you said, you have artists now, because people make money streaming, but we know the reality of streaming for a lot of people. Yeah, there's money out there, but it's only mega stars that are making that type of money. But the money isn't the same, even for them, as it is when they go out and they actually do tours.
That's what I was going at as far as underrated,
Yeah,
overrated.
it's underrated. It's very, very
You think so?
underrated.
Severely.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Live shows are very underrated.
It's very important too, because I mean,
Yes.
you can hear the songs all day long, but sometimes you need to see that person too,
Yeah.
and not just on YouTube or not on a Facebook or Instagram video. Like you need to see these people in person,
Yeah.
and to have that connection and be in the crowd and enjoying that music that you've heard over and over. It's nothing like it.
I was about to say it's nothing like a live show.
Yeah.
Like we was at Arts and Drops
Yeah.
last night.
I
I guarantee if I listen, what's that first band that played?
Numb Tom.
I bet you if I just heard them on the radio or something like that, it'd been like, eh. But we was, right front center stage, whatever, and seeing the lead singer, he was playing the role in Juno. So you already know like where those sounds took you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On top of that, and he was animated. You know what I'm saying? He was all over stage. He had long hair, doing all this number and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, he was talking. He was using 2 mics. He talked to the crowd with this mic here. He got up talking. You know what I'm saying?
He was on it, man.
So yeah, I mean, I didn't mean to cut you off with that
No,
story,
you're good.
but yeah, I feel like it's underrated, man. You can't get that same experience to just listen to music, and I think streaming actually makes it even more underrated because I mean, I think we're at a point now where we're trying to get to, so we got to do what we got to do. I think that's what social media comes in at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To kind of balance that out. You know what I'm saying? So, but I know for me being a producer, I'm trying to touch everybody. So, you know what I mean? So, like, that's why I'm tagging certain people, you know what I'm saying? Because I want them to, or right now I got a little campaigns going on called the People's Choice Beats. So anybody can ask me to sample anything. I don't care what it is. I'm going to get it, sample a beat. I feel like that's a way I can, kind of like a tour. You know what I'm saying?
I forgot. Oh, man, I got to send you something. I'm going to mess you up.
Bring it.
I'm going to say so hard.
You know, this lady thought she messed me up with Baby Shark.
I see that.
So I mean, just to bring it back as a producer, I think that's a way we can touch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The fans and stuff like that, and you know,
live shows are very telling too. Because I mean, you can take somebody that doesn't like Big Crit at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not one song, and I can bring them to a Big Crit show. Yep. And the energy that he gives when he performs, you're going to be a fan by the end of the night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going to be a fan of that artist because of how into their music they are. Yeah. And now they bringing you into it, and you didn't even want to come into it.
Yeah.
You here now, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And another thing, too, I think I love about live shows, too, why they're so underrated, especially given, like, today's political climate and stuff. It's neat when you're able to go to a show and you see all these different kinds of people. And they're all going to see this one artist.
Connecting over the same music.
Yeah, connecting over the same music. And people never pay that attention. Like, when you go to shows, like, oh, there are, like, all these different kinds of people. I did not think this person liked what I like. And then vice versa. Like, oh, you know, and then... that's pretty neat seeing that too, man. Seeing those things. It's a great way to connect, man. Like I said, music is a universal language.
You know what? I think it would be cool if, like, we can put on instrumental shows as producers. Just have a bunch of hardware or FL Studio and just do that joint live. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do little sets and stuff like that. I've seen it happen before, but I've never seen it happen here in South Carolina. So yeah. Any other topics? Any other topics, y'all? Give us a good one, man. Give us something. Give me something controversial.
All right, R. Kelly.
His music.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Don't slow down now. Controversy here now.
Keep it rolling.
Nah, because y'all said 2 different things. The music or R. Kelly?
I'll go with the music. Let's go with the music.
Let's go with the music.
We'll go with the music.
Man, he's still overrated.
You know, R. Kelly music is very overrated. I never really liked R. Kelly music. Cause think about it. I never really did.
Overrated. Now, you might get somebody who says, yeah, because he, you know, use, I guess, like simplicity in his word and stuff like that. But from a hip hop artist, okay.
I'm gonna tell you what broke me down about R. Kelly. Do y'all remember back in the day, Boondocks?
And
it was like, you know how sometimes when you watch stuff, like how they say, like, art is an imitation of life.
Yeah.
And I think, man, it is so funny when you watch that episode, and I remember I watched it, I was like, you know what, like, R. Kelly's music really isn't that good.
No.
It's really very basic. It kind of sucks. especially when he was getting out of, like, the 90s, and he did, like, Chocolate Factory and all that stuff. Like, what's the song? The big song that the remix, Ignition. Like, I thought Ignition sucks. Like, I can't stand that song.
Nah, it sucked.
That song is overrated.
Nah, it sucked.
Yes, man. Like, I was just thinking, I was like, that was like the corniest song, man. And think about it. And you remember when he had the video, and you remember in the video he had the cornrows and he was spinning. Like, who thinks of that?
Yeah,
like, come on.
And then I think
like,
that was with the wave of times too. But yeah.
And I just think he's overrated. Now, his stuff back in the day, if you look at that music from Music Sense, I think the stuff back in the day, like the 90s and all that stuff, was kind of cool. But yeah, I just, especially when, like I said, when I watched the episode of Boondocks and they were playing a little music when they did the little Kelly songs, I was like, this sucks. And like, cartoon characters
like little
dancing.
minimalistic jingles,
Yeah,
that they was doing on Boondocks.
yeah,
So,
man. But yeah, but
Overrated,
music,
underrated.
I'd say from a music standpoint, underrated.
what
And-
the world?
And here's why.
You tell me why he's underrated. I gotta.
Here's why I say that. Like, it's not because of the lyrics of the songs, none of that, blah, 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 blah. But the work that goes into it, him writing, producing, and engineering the bulk of his music.
Yeah, he is a producer too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he made beat
For himself and
yeah.
others.
He's
You know what I mean?
Right. He's a beat
And
maker.
wrote a lot of songs for a bunch of people
Yeah, he did.
that had really good, really good single.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? What they needed to take them over the top a little bit. So I would say underrated in that sense. As far as like the lyrical content and stuff like that, I would say overrated because the majority of his stuff is at like a third grade reading level, and that's not a knock against him. But if you listen to the majority of the hits that are on the radio,
It's simple.
it's at that same level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody's trying to make you think about anything.
Nah, ain't no one like.
Yeah, nobody's trying to bring lyricism to the forefront. They want you to buy this single, and they're going to give it to you in the simplest way possible because they know that kids are buying this.
I'm surprised nobody ain't come out with a song just saying "Buy me."
Yeah,
Buy me. Buy
I'm
me.
glad.
Buy me.
I'm glad you said
Buy me, yeah,
you said
buy
something.
me.
But what other? I was going to Google what other R&B albums came out around that time.
Around what time?
Ignition and all that.
When Ignition came back? That
was like
2000?
2000?
2001.
Sheesh, I don't even know.
I think it was like 2001. Let's see.
Because we probably can't take in consideration that R&B was, because R&B is like usually a hit and miss. They have I think they got more weaker moments than stronger points. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Over the past.
Yeah,
I don't know,
nobody
it's
really
not
buys R&B anymore.
Right.
The most of the R&B now is what you get from a rapper.
But then the thing is, though, but it's always been like this. It's been like that for about the past 30 years, though. Yeah, because think about it. Even like starting back in like the late 80s. Well, before then, you had R&B and you had rap. And they were two totally separate things. They didn't dance with each other. You know what I mean? They just didn't. And then started in like the late 80s, that's when they start like with New Jack Swing. You know what I mean? It's like all your Bobby Brown, all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
Ever since then, you know what I mean? They're always interrelated. I remember I was a couple weeks ago. I was watching I was listening to the Breakfast Club about that, and Ted Riley was up there talking about it. And it made a lot of sense what he was saying. He was like, essentially, it's the same type of songs. It's just it was all hip hop beats, and we don't think about it like that. But it's all hip hop beats with people singing on them.
Yeah.
And what's going on nowadays? That's all trap music is. This is a hip hop beat with somebody singing on it.
Yeah.
It's just the same. You know what I mean? It's the same concept.
Yeah.
So I think for a while there, like you said, it's always been the same music. It's like different tones come in or different styles of putting it together. Production wise, it's the same thing. It's rapping and singing together.
Yeah. So that song came out. That album came out in 2003.
So we need to figure out what came out in 2003.
I'm looking at it right now. Hold on. Let me give you a list. So, all right, 2003, Monica, So Gone. Beyonce,
Okay.
Crazy in Love.
So
Beyonce,
okay, that's pretty.
Baby Boy.
Hold up now. You can't just go back to that. Beyonce was pretty big.
Hold on. Erica Badu, Love of My Life.
Yeah.
Ashanti, Rock With You. Wayne Wonder, No Letting Go. So those songs came out in 2003. Like I said, what I was saying earlier was that maybe it was just a kind of a down.
Yeah.
All
Especially
of
for
those
male
hits,
artists.
though. Yeah.
But
You know what
especially
I'm
for
saying?
male artists.
Or you can look at it as a lot of hits going on at that time, and it's kind of mediocre. But I think, I'm not going to say it. That's like one of his worst albums, though.
What? What's the
Chocolate Factory.
And then you got but that's what
R came out in '98.
Yeah, but that's 90s though. You got to separate 90s Kel.
No. What I was saying was like during that time there was so much great songs.
Yeah.
That's the reason why it could be mediocre.
Yeah.
And I'm not debating. I'm saying I agree with
Yeah.
that, but he even stepped his game up. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I just know. I know for me personally, like I said, of course, with the allegations and all that, and all the stuff that happened, I get that. But just from a music perspective, I think once
came out at the same time.
what came out? Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So annoying. Gosh, so annoying. You gotta be saying. I can't stand.
Oh man,
You just proved my point, man.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing.
Funny.
It's just so silly, man. Like you ever sat there and listened to that song?
yeah, like
And the
2003
video.
was a different animal.
Yeah.
I think Beyonce was killing that year anyway.
Didn't Drumline
Yeah.
come out that year?
Who?
That So
Didn't
Gone was
Drumline come out
that
that
So
year?
Gone was big too, by Monica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like So Gone. That was dope.
And then like what is that? A few years ago, everybody was doing that So Gone challenge.
Yeah.
So that just brought it back to the forefront.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Ain't nobody doing the ignition challenge.
No, no.
Yeah,
Man.
But however, I don't. Of course, we don't condone that whole those
No,
allegations.
sexual abuse.
We call it allegations, but
Yeah,
of course we don't.
allegations like that.
Yeah, we know that. So, all right. So, what you got a topic that you want to say is underrated, overrated, or
Let me see here. How about let's go Tekashi 6ix9ine.
oh,
Underrated, overrated.
Overrated. And I'm gonna tell you why. And it ain't no old head like, oh, they young and they got blah, blah. I hate that. I hate that.
That's hilarious.
So stupid.
what you okay? So what you
Well, I
think
think it's
about it?
overrated. I think it's just. I think there's nothing new under the sun, and I think Tekashi, just like anybody else that came before him or came after him, I think everybody has a wave, and there's always somebody that's hot at a particular time. So back in 1991 or 92, whoever was hot at that time had a little buzz.
Yeah.
But they fit that time and they were gone. Now, Tekashi, and I'm just looking at Tekashi as an artist.
Right.
I'm not looking like the other stuff. Like, but as an artist, like you said, for 2018, 2019, his stuff is hot, and that's what's hot right now.
Yeah, it's the branding. It's the branding era.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So 2021, 2022, we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. Think about it. There are a lot of artists that come and go. If it's up to that, like, hey, strike what they say, strike while the iron's hot, right?
Yeah.
He's just striking while the iron's hot. There's nothing special about him. It's not like he's gonna bring anything to where it's gonna be changing the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not no man in the mirror here. It's Tekashi 6ix9ine. We gotta put things in perspective.
I got you.
Yeah, that's it. We gotta put things in perspective. And I remember one time my dad said this. We had a conversation like back in the day, and he was just talking about different artists, and we're just chatting about stuff. And my dad's somebody, despite it, like, he, you know what I mean, he just sees the big picture when it comes to certain things, especially with music.
Yeah.
And I remember we were talking about, for example, like, I think we were talking about Alicia Keys, when Alicia Keys first came out. And he was like, man, he's like, you see an artist like her? I was like Alicia Keys? I was like, yeah. He was like, things interesting about her is people like that are people who are always going to be around because of their style and their uniqueness that they have, and they aren't necessarily locked into a particular time. And he was like, and that's one of the things you'll notice about certain artists. Certain artists the way they present themselves and their style. They have a will. You can tell that they understand change and how to mold and evolve. Other artists there are a lot of people who come out. They're good for that time, but they don't know how to make that step, that transition into change. You can't fault them for that because it takes a talent to do that. And I think that's the same thing with Tekashi. Tekashi's dope for now, but is he going to be somebody that's going to be able to evolve and to change, given his persona and given the way he carries himself and his image? Think about it. Tab Cola was hot back in the day.
Facts.
Think about it. It's
What'd you say?
I think I'm gonna take the same approach we did with the last person as far as separate the music from the person itself. The music is underrated. No, the music is overrated. The music is overrated. Overrated.
Yeah.
It's mediocre. It's mediocre. I think
the music's dope.
You think it's dope?
I think it's dope.
I think it's
dope, and like from like how you need to sound, like your music needs to sound nowadays for people to like your music and for you to get spins. I'm not saying I personally like it. I was looking at it just purely objectional, staring away. Like, I'm not somebody that has Tekashi 6ix9ine in my playlist.
Right.
But for the people who are streaming music, who are into that, or who are into that thing, who are doing that to where you get numbers to where people go show up for shows. He's giving them what they want.
I can see me listening to that in the gym,
Yeah,
but I can't see like if I'm just vibing and you know what I'm saying. That's not the first thing I'm going to hit when I'm going to get in the car. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So, but the branding, he's impeccable. I think it's underrated still. I think that's what's the most important thing. That's the reason why, and that's what, like I said, 2019 is the year of branding. That's actually what I'm focused on doing this year.
Yeah.
Is branding. I think like he's 100 in that. You know what I'm saying? But he do remind me of like of course obviously Soulja Boy. He reminds me of 50 Cent when he first came out. He remind me of Old Dirty Bastard when he first came out. He remind me of DMX when he first came out. He remind me of Ice-T when he first came out. What they got in common is that their lyrics are extreme, but on top of that, their image is like 10 times bigger than the artist itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I might get killed for this, but 50 Cent was not a great lyricist.
No, he wasn't.
But his image is like this. Old Dirty Bastard. I'm not checking him for his music, but I'm checking him for his antics. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's the same energy though. Man.
And that's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm saying he's underrated. I think he's gonna have a long career. I think if he gets out, he's gonna have a pretty long career.
Well, and this is what I mean.
Hold on, because with that, he's like Soulja Boy did. He was able to rebrand himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Tekashi 69, he's one of those guys that's like in the, I guess, with the machine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he's going to keep rebranding until he runs out.
So, well, this is what I got to say. Now, I do think as far as, it depends on what do you define as a career. Are you defining this as a career as just a celebrity, or you define this as a career as an artist?
Well, I see the lines are blurred now.
Yeah, I think they
Yeah,
go
that's
hand
what
in
I'm
hand.
saying.
Yeah, the lines are blurred now. So I think as long as he can keep that up and have decent rhymes and get decent production. And honestly, from a technical standpoint, gumbo and all that, it ain't good. It's not good. Like, the little kids might say, "Nah, you know whatever," but it's trash. Like those songs sound like FL Studio stock stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
You know, even like the like I said, the engineer and all that stuff, it was just trash. But I remember Triple X was the same way when he first came out. He's another artist he reminded me of too.
Yeah, that's true.
That first song, "Get Off Me" or whatever was it called, the very first song, that mixdown was so horrible, but they had to play it.
Yeah.
And so I think like the branding is gonna be bigger than your songs. Eventually in past 2021, whatever, that's what's gonna be what it is.
Oh yeah,
And that's why I asked the question earlier, how much is music really worth? I think it's worth much as your images, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Much as the artist itself.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Back when Lil Wayne was hot, them songs were disposable. You know what I'm saying? The average consumer can't remember having them songs. You know what I'm saying? Same thing when Dipset had their run with Joe Santana dropping those songs.
Yeah.
Gucci Mane. You know what I'm saying? Like these newer fans don't know all those songs. You know what I'm saying?
No, they don't. No,
Same
that's
thing
true.
with Migos last year, two years ago. But the branding is like out of this world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and that's really what it comes down to. But like you say, even with branding and stuff, and even with artists that are out now, the thing is you always got to worry about is when you have younger artists, well, you have people that, I guess, their target is a younger crowd. When they're growing, is that or when that target group is growing, and I think J. Cole mentioned this too. Like the people who are going out to, who are getting their parents to buy your tickets to your shows and are doing all that while you're 18, 19, 20, it might not, you know, those kids might not traditionally come from the environment from which this person may allude to, or at least they're advertising per se. And they go from 18, 19 to where they're like 27, 28. Are those people still going to come out to your show if you're still doing things along those same lines?
I think every artist, they eventually grow.
Yeah,
But
and that's the thing. And it's just, what are you going to grow into?
That's the X factor. That's something that we don't know until we get here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like with Ice-T. We all know he did his first few albums. You know what I'm saying? Probably in real life.
Yeah.
But now he's on what's it called? Show called
SVU.
SVU. You know what I'm saying? Looking like a family man. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's all. Those are just some of the things I look at. I just realized, because it's like there's just certain types of songs and there's certain music and topics that, and even styles that you come out with, is very hard for you to change. You know, once you set an image and you become so successful with a particular image, it's very hard to shake it.
Ooh, so now I got a question. So, you think Eminem could have changed his image?
That's a really good one. And actually, we can use him for an example.
Right.
So if you think about it, and it's all based off of success.
Right.
And I think with Eminem, of course, he came from, not necessarily from a dark perspective, but he had some dark elements to his music. But also at the same time, he also had a little bit of comedy in there too. Mm-hmm. So he offered somewhat of a twisted type of complexity. And because of that, he was able to attract the audience that he attracted because it was hip hop, it was lyrical, and it had some seriousness to it. However, there was a little bit of lightness to it too. So he could talk about dark stuff, but then he could also throw a joke in there. And that's great because that can bring in, like you said, not only is he able to get lyricists in there or people, lyricists, but he's also able to get some people every now and then who want to hear some fun stuff too. And want to hear it just from a different voice or from a different perspective. Yeah. And that's what brought in his base as well.
Yeah, I don't think he was able to carry out that.
But you can't carry that forever though. And that's the thing. Think about it. With a lot of with his music, because he's still doing similar type of music, and he still has people who are his fans.
But those antics is not like it's not funny anymore. You know what I mean?
Because you're a grown man.
Yeah, and he went platinum recently.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know anybody that listens to his music now. Yeah. But somebody does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's
the thing that got everybody was his shock factor.
Yeah.
They just wanted to hear him because he said some shocking shit.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
And that's all they listen for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And over time they become fans, but it's only so long you can keep doing that.
Yeah.
Like with the Tekashi thing, I'd say he's overrated too because, like your 50 Cents, they did the same kind of stuff.
Yes, that's what it reminded me of.
He still survived.
50 Cent's music was better.
That's one point. The other point is that he went from a rapper and an artist. He's in the movies now.
Well, but this is the thing though. But even with that though, but 50 Cent is in the music now. But then look at what everything 50 Cent has done though. 50 Cent over time was never like even when 50 blew up and how he was what you would say a disruptor. Mm-hmm. Even look at the music that he had on his album as opposed to what Tekashi 6ix9ine had on his album or his projects. There was still some different levels of complexity. Like one of the biggest ironies about the 50 Ja Rule beef was the fact that what 50 was getting on Ja Rule about,
he was doing.
50 was doing.
Yeah, you singing on songs.
Yeah, but
listen to me sing on songs.
Yeah, and then those songs were doing just as well as the other songs.
Yeah.
And so,
but I think what it is the rebranding part. I think that's what's the difference. That's why I say he's underrated because he's still. We're not here yet, but he's able to. He's still young. You know what I mean? If he gets out of jail, the rebranding part, what makes him still underrated? There's no telling what because he might. 50 was one of his mentors, so he might turn to movies, and I think that's where usually rappers of that. Of that category go to. And
I can see him doing something. Now that makes sense, though.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, Eminem, this is my opinion, probably should have went the movie route instead of just trying to drop another album. Mm-hmm. It went platinum, all that good stuff, but it's somebody with stature. Look how long it took for him to go platinum versus coming out the gate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like you said, I think a lot of it, though, at the end of the day is you can't do, it's just how are you going to be able to do music? Like
you can do it until you're 100.
Well, no, what I mean is how long
can you stay relevant?
Yeah, stay relevant.
Stay relevant. Yeah, no, that's
my question.
Well, that's another thing.
Because there's gonna be the thing is this. Yeah, you got Tekashi, but then you got like 3 other people that are gonna be just like him that are coming, and they're gonna have their fans, and they're doing stuff right now that we don't even hear about yet.
He's got to be just as good.
That's why I like Snoop.
That's why I say Snoop is another one who's
so underrated.
People will say, "Hey, who's one of your favorite artists?" And I say Snoop, and they laugh like, it's hilarious. It's not.
Snoop is one of my favorites.
This man's been around forever.
Snoop's one of my top 5.
But Snoop is like a chameleon, man.
Yeah, Snoop's one of my top 5.
He blend in.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think that's what Tekashi 69 probably will need to do, and that's why I'm saying he's underrated because we don't know what he's going to do. Now.
Yeah, his brand is underrated.
Yeah, brand.
I'd say
yeah.
Him, he's overrated.
Yeah. The music. That's what I said. I separate two.
But you got to see
the music. The music's underrated.
And I think honestly, it is really up to him what he's going to do. But the thing is, he's got to make a change. if he's gonna, that's the ironic thing about what you said about the branding and stuff.
Yeah.
The thing that got him into trouble is going to be the thing that's going to keep him from continuing to be relevant.
Yeah.
Because sooner you gotta change. There's a certain point you gotta change.
Kind of like Meek Mill.
That's,
you know what I mean?
50's music, his antics backfired on him. It's like, okay, first I'm gonna go at Ja Rule. Okay, next album I'm gonna drop. Who am I gonna go at next? I might go at Fat Joe. Okay, I'm gonna go at Fat Joe. And then Kanye West is about to drop an album. I'm gonna drop on the same day, and I'm gonna let people know that I'm gonna drop on the same day. And he trashed, and everybody bought Kanye album.
I bought Kanye.
Yeah,
album.
Exactly. I did
Graduation
too.
was a joint, man.
Yeah.
It's like it's only so long you can keep doing the same thing before
People
it don't work anymore.
out. Yeah, people.
Yeah.
You gotta adapt and change. Yeah,
And then all his other albums, nobody really cared, to be honest.
Yep. All right, underrated, overrated. Pharrell.
I think he's underrated.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I think he's underrated.
I'm on the same page. I was just throwing
The reason why I say he's underrated, man, like, because to be honest with you, Pharrell really showed a lot of artists how to take their creativity outside the music, and how to brand. And
again, branding, right?
About the branding,
yeah.
But he took it to where it can be bigger than hip hop. And it doesn't have to be always affiliated with the elements of hip hop or the genre in particular, especially a lot of negative things, unfortunately, associated with hip hop. And I think that's the thing. Like, he took it to that level. And like I said, and I think that's why I think he's very, very underrated.
You said underrated too, right?
Oh yeah.
I said the same thing. So what's a producer that you think everybody think is underrated, but you think it's overrated? Like, what's a producer that's hot that you probably like?
Nobody comes to mind immediately. I have to think about this one. Definitely have to think about this one. Give me a minute.
Oh, I gotta say something. Let me think. Overrated, and they gotta be a producer. A producer in the sense of a beat maker, right?
Yeah, I mean anybody. I mean
beat maker. I would say, okay, if I had to say anybody was overrated as a technical, like as a producer, by the name, I would say DJ Khaled.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is, I think with Khaled, now Khaled is a person, Khaled's energy is amazing. And I think as far as him, and I kind of put him in the same crowd or group, and I know people want to put him as a producer, but I put him more in a producer in the sense of like a Diddy, in the sense of knowing how to build relationships, especially with people who have a buzz or who are in right now, to maintain your relevance. I don't really see him as a producer, and I don't know why people. I just feel he's overrated in that regard.
I think we got to have proof to see him actually making beats.
Yeah.
I've seen him DJ. He's a crazy DJ. Like, he's like one of the best. But as far as production,
they talk about and people talk about that all the time. And I'm really thinking behind the scenes with him. And this is just me because I've always followed behind, and I really think a lot of stuff that he does. I think Cool and Dre have a lot of influence on it, and I think they work on a lot of stuff with him. And I think those dudes are very underrated.
Way underrated.
Now, that's the reason why I would say that, and that's why I say that. That's why I was like, let me put it. I was like, I think about, because they're all from that same scene. I was like, Khaled, because who Khaled is, his relationships, him as a celebrity, how he was able to develop his brand, kind of overshadowed what the people he was working with, particularly the production side, the Cool and Dre's of the world, and stuff. And that's why I would take him out of that. But I don't see him as he's very overrated.
Yeah. His last album was kind of...
Yeah.
I think the last two... What's that single he had with... I think of Justin Bieber, Wayne, and... I think that was... It was a flop. And I think he had a song before that was a flop. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah.
And it's just like... And I think with him, he tries to cater to everybody. And that is very, very, very hard. Like with the last, and I'm glad you mentioned that. It's very hard for you to have a project with Nas on it, then turn around and have Drake, then turn around and have Drake.
Yeah.
And to be taken, I
thought it was so many different places I just went.
Nas on the DJ Khaled album.
Yeah, it'd be taken serious.
But here's one. It was,
and then Nas joint was crazy.
Yeah, I like that.
Nas actually was on a good beat.
Yeah.
You see what happens when Nas is on good beats?
But I was saying the indicator was he was on the song by himself too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But I think overrated as far as I go. I was leaning towards Kanye, believe it or not.
You know what?
I was leaning towards Kanye, and not because of what's going on, but I think the music. One, I think he's influenced by whatever new producers coming out at that particular time.
Yeah.
Like, was the 808 Heartbreak? And
I think that's the last great album he's done.
What's the other one? Yeezus.
Yeah.
I feel like that was all Travis Scott.
Yeah.
I feel like that was all Travis Scott. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's his influence.
But he started though after. But the thing is, especially after around graduation and moving forward, he started ghosting a lot of stuff. He started getting a lot more help on things. Because before then, and like I said, I noticed Kanye stuff. Like that was like, I used to the biggest yes to the fan.
Because you can tell how he kind of articulates the sounds and the samples and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it was a downfall when like the Don't Like remix came out.
Yeah.
He was supposed to have been producer that. We knew he didn't produce that.
No, he didn't.
You know what I'm saying? Like
a lot of stuff. Because he didn't start making that transition until around graduation. Because what he was doing, because essentially he would chop up stuff and he would work on things. But what would happen is, of course, because of like clearances and stuff like that, he'd bring musicians in and stuff. And of course, he knows keyboard stuff, and he could play like his riffs and his leads and whatnot. He would do a lot of that. Yeah. However, after I guess it would be not drop late registration, second one. Now it's forever everything, and he started making that transition into graduation. That's when he started getting more help on that and start bringing up.
You can tell that song with T-Pain. I'm like, that don't sound like regular work, brother.
That sound like he featured on that on his own beat. On his own track.
And I think he did Good Life. I think he did. He put Good Life together.
But see, I don't think that's, to me, don't sound like Kanye sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and even
I see him getting more help on that, and hey, use these sounds. I'm gonna use these sounds too, but let's get this done together. More than I believe he made like flashing lights. You know what I mean?
No,
I know
we
he
know
put
that.
down flashing lights.
We know that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Sounds like stock loops.
Yeah, I know he did that. You know what I mean? I know he did
we all know
all of the lights. You know what I mean? I can hear him doing those. Yeah. But the Good Life, I'm like, hold on.
Now, this is the thing. Now, I can't say that. Now I'll say this. And I'm actually the other way on that. So I'm opposite on that. Now, sonically, the way he sampled and the stuff he samples, he's an MJ dude anyways. He's a fan. So I don't, he sampled all that stuff with that because I know the track.
But that song, like, Kanye songs, to me, is so dark when that song's actually bright.
But now you can't say that because even going back to College Dropout, he has some bright songs. So
Really?
he has some bright songs on College Dropout.
Because like all the lights and all that, like the texture of those songs was kind of, you know what I mean? It was kind of that moody type.
Well, but that's been his style. But he's always had like brighter songs. But he's always had a mix.
So that's what I'm saying. That
so like Through the Wire was a bright song. So and that was so. So I guess for me. I think he really started making the transition around 808 Heartbreak. I think
which I said earlier, that's Travis Scott. There's no doubt in that.
Yeah, he started making that transition, but then you got to think about what was happening in his life around that time. That was when his mother passed, and then that's when he started messing with Amber. That's when his new Amber Rose, and then that's when he started going down the path. That got all kinds of
fun times. Same Pablo. That's like all the way Chance the Rapper influence.
Yeah.